Hello students, welcome back. Let us continue with the chapter Natural Resources. In the previous class, we studied about one of the inorganic matter of the natural resource, that is air. And we studied what is the composition of it, what are the layers of it, and then the functions of it, then the effect if the air is getting polluted, and what are the major things by which the air gets polluted. Now today we are going to study the same thing about the another type of inorganic substance or inorganic or abiotic natural resource from the biosphere, the abiotic component of the biosphere, that is your sand or soil. Fine. So first, like we studied the layers of the soil. Now the same way the land or the soil is present on earth, okay, and the earth is consisting of major three layers. The innermost is known as core, then you have mantle, and then you have the crust. So when I am talking about the soil, I am actually talking about the crust. Okay, it is the crust which consists of all this soil particle. So the crust, the topmost layer of the crust, which consists of the land or the part which interacts with all the biotic things, is known as soil. Okay, so what is soil? The soil is the topmost layer of the earth crust, okay, which interacts with all the biotic things, that is known as soil. Now if I want to see the layers of the soil profile which we have studied in the previous classes, we will again study the same soil profile over here. Okay, your soil profile have four horizons, right? You have the bedrock, which consists of very huge rocks, that is horizon D. Then you have small rocks, then the bedrocks, that is horizon C. Then you have mineral accumulation, okay, where all the minerals, okay, the plants and animals which are using, and they are throwing as a form of waste. So you have mineral accumulation, that is your horizon C, and then you have the top layer where you have humus and where the plants can actually grow. So the top layer where the humus is present and the plant can grow is your horizon A, right? So you have horizon A where you have the humus content, then you have horizon B, there you have the mineral accumulation, you have C where you have bit larger rocks, and then you have the bedrock, that is horizon D. So this is nothing but your soil profile. Okay, here you have the bedrock. Fine. So this is your soil profile or the layers of the soil. Now let us see what the soil, the topmost layer of the soil actually consists of. Okay, it consists of different types of soil. It can be either gravel, it can either have slit or silt, it can have humus. Okay, so what is gravel? Gravel is the big rocks which are having the size around 2 millimeters. Okay, and below 2 millimeters you have slit, which is the small one, and you can even add over here one more, that is your sand. Okay, you can even add sand over here because you have sand in the soil. Okay, then you have silt and then the humus. Okay, so if you want the sizes of each of them, I can do that also. The gravel is near about 2 millimeters in size. Then you have 0.05 millimeter to 2 millimeter. You have the sand particles. Okay, and then you have 0.005 millimeter to 0.05 millimeter your silt particles, and below, whatever is below 0.005 millimeters, you called it as the humus particle. Okay. Now these are the particles which are present in your soil. Now based on the difference in the particle, few soils have more amount of gravel, less amount of sand, few have more amount of sand, few have more amount of humus, okay, or clay. This is generally mixed with clay, okay, the clay particle, the topmost one is generally mixed with clay. So the clay one, the topmost one have maximum amount of nutrients, that's why I have written humus over here, okay. So the clay have maximum, so if some is having more amount of clay, then you say it as a clayey soil, then if it has more amount of sand, then it is a sandy soil. And the loamy soil which you have studied about have all the three, sand, silt and humus or the clay in the same amount, okay. So these all depends on the composition of these all or the percentage composition of these all. You have different types of soil present in the area. Fine. So what did we study? We studied about the core. The first one, this is the layer of the earth, the innermost core, then the middle, mantle and the crust. When we talk about the soil, we are actually talking about the crust, okay, the topmost layer of the crust which actually interacts with the biotic thing. Then we studied soil profile. What is soil profile? It have 4 horizon and it can be divided into 4 horizon. The downmost is the bedrock which consists of very huge rocks. Then the smaller rocks are known as horizon C. When mineral accumulation takes place, whatever humus is degrading, all the minerals will come down. You have a horizon B and then horizon A where actually the plants grow. Then these are the composition of the soil. It can have either gravel, sand, silt or clay. And based on the percentage of all this, you have different types of soil. Now let us study soil pollution. This is all about soil, okay. Now soil pollution, you all know why soil is important, because it is the outermost layer where all the plants grow, and as plants grow, what is happening? The animals are eating the plant. You all know the chain, right? The animal eat the plant, that are the herbivorous animal. So if the herbivorous survive, the carnivorous survive. So the whole food chain is depending upon this, because if soil is not proper or if the humus content is not there, then the plants will not be able to grow and the whole food chain will get disturbed, okay. Along with it, it also holds, the soil also is getting holded by the plant is getting holded by that soil, okay. The roots are taking more deeper and deeper to take in all the water and minerals from the soil. So that's why the soil is very important. Now let us see how are we polluting it, okay. Now we pollute the soil in the same way as we pollute the air. The first thing is because of the toxic substances. Now the toxic substances may be by the industries, like even in air pollution we have industries which pollute, or here along with it, since we have plants growing on it, apart from industry, even the farming processes, okay, which uses the fertilizers, pesticides or any chemicals for farming, they also pollute the soil, okay. So we have industries which throws the chemical, and we have extra fertilizers or pesticide which are used by the farmers, which also pollute the soil. Along with this, even the improper sewage and the drainage system, okay, if there is an improper drainage or sewage system, or even the garbage is not disposed of properly in the human areas, then even that causes soil pollution, okay. Garbage management is not proper, okay. Even the plastics which we throw, okay, this plastics cannot get degraded by the soil microorganism very faster, and as a result it remains in the topmost layer. So what happens that the minerals which gets accumulated by the humus is not able to go down, even the rainwater is not able to go down, and what happens is that the ground level of the water reduces, because this plastic do not allow the water to flow down. So even the plastic causes pollution, okay. And what will be the effects of this pollution? These all will directly affect our food chain, right, because the soil is a major part where the plants grow and where all the degradation takes place. We have even microorganisms which stay in this soil, right. So if this is getting affected, then indirectly it will affect the actual organism. Okay, and one of the major effect of this soil pollution is soil erosion. Okay, that is soil erosion. What is erosion? The topmost layer of the soil, that is the humus layer, is moved away. Okay, and it is the layer which consists of maximum minerals and it helps in growth of the plant, and if it moves away, the plant will not be able to grow faster. Okay, or the whole land will become deserted. So the soil erosion is one of the major factor of this pollution. Now let us see what are the ways by which soils get eroded. The first thing, the top layer can get eroded because of floods. Okay, it can get even eroded because of extreme drought. Why drought? The first one, floods. How flood? Because if too much amount of water is there, the water will wash off. When the water flows, it will wash off the whole topmost layer. Same way drought, the soil will become too dry. So when the wind will flow, again the water will get, the soil will get moved off. Okay, so even the other factor is wind. Okay, so you have flood, you have drought. Why drought? Because it makes the soil dry, and that's why it can easily flow with the wind. Even extreme wind condition, okay, windy days mean the soil is getting flowed away, and as a result the topmost layer is washed off. So you have flood, drought, winds, and even if there is less plantation, because I told that this plants holds the soil. So if there is less plantation, what happens is the whole soil will be loosened up. Okay, because when the plant hold the soil, it is tightly bounded to the roots. So if plants are not there, the soil is loosened up, and as a result when wind will flow, it can easily move away. So we need to take care that the soil erosion is minimum, and because of this, to reduce the soil erosion, we have different ways. The first one is plantation. More you plant, more roots will be there, and as a result more roots will hold up the soil properly. Along with it, these were the ways by which soil get eroded. Okay, and now we will see the prevention. Okay, the prevention can be first more plantation, then you even have terrace farming. Okay, what is terrace farming? This is generally done in mountainous region. Mountainous region have slopes. Okay, so the erosion is very easier, and the plants also are not able to stay on that slope properly. So what is done? If suppose this is the mountain, a part of the mountain is cut and made into a terrace kind of area. So what happens? You all can plant the trees over here. So at regular interval you have all these things, so where you can plant the trees. So what happens is you can easily plant the trees, and this terrace farming, the soil will be holded up, the roots will come over here and it will hold up that particular area's soil. So the terrace farming also helps in preventing soil erosion. Fine. Then even building up of your dams, okay, the building up of the dams will help to prevent this soil erosion. What and how? Because if I say that flood is causing soil erosion or the drought is causing soil erosion, we all know that this dam will hold up excess amount of rainwater. So if the rainwater, excess rainwater is getting holded up by the dam, then the flood is getting avoided. Same way, if there is certain case where there is no rain in that particular region, the dam water can be released. So the drought also can be avoided. So these are the ways of prevention of soil erosion. This is all about your second abiotic factor, that is your soil. Let us recapitulate what we studied. We studied the different layers of the earth. Okay, the first one, the innermost is the core, then you have mantle and the crust. When I am actually talking about soil, I am talking about the crust. Okay, it is the topmost layer of the crust which interacts with the biotic thing is known as soil. Soil have 4 horizons in the soil profile. Topmost layer which consists of humus where actually the plant grows, then the mineral accumulation in the horizon B. Horizon C have bit more bigger rocks, and D which is the bedrock where you have maximum huge number of rocks. Then the soil can have different parts, like it can have gravel, it can have silt, it can have your sand, or it can have clay. And depending on the composition or the percentage of all these 4 things, you have different types of soil. Okay, then the soil, how does it gets polluted? It gets polluted by the industries, the garbage management if it is not proper, if excess amount of fertilizers and pesticides are used, and if plastics are there. Okay, the plastic will not allow the rain water to sweep in. So the ground level of the water will go down. And when the soil erosion takes place, one of the major problem is when the soil pollution takes place, one of the major problem is soil erosion. Okay, soil erosion is due to floods, drought, excess amount of wind, or even less plantation. So to avoid this soil erosion, you can have more plantation, you can have terrace farming in the mountainous region, and you can build the dams. So the dams can store excess amount of water, so there is avoiding of flood, and in less amount of water, this dam water can be sent to that particular area where drought is there. Okay, you all know how the soil is formed, that is weathering. Okay, it can be either physical or chemical. Physical weathering by sun or water, or chemical with the help of all these minerals and humus containing microorganism only. Okay, so that is the way the soil is also formed. So if it is coming, so the same thing you can write down which you have studied in your previous classes, that is your weathering of the soil. So with this we finish up with the second abiotic component. Okay, then the next one or the next lecture will start with the third abiotic component of the earth, that is your water. So we finished air, we finished soil, and now we will start with the third abiotic component, that is water. Thank you.
Hope this video increased your knowledge. For more such videos and a completely free educational content, log on to www.epathshala.org or visit our ePathshala YouTube channel. We have each and every question solved for maths, physics, chemistry and biology. So subscribe our channel, share with your friends, like our Facebook page and follow our Twitter handle for regular updates and important educational tips, and also win ePathshala goodies. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe this channel and enjoy the freedom of education.